Welcome to the Blue Collar Crypto Show with Tim Trojan on the World of Ability Podcast Network. We'd like to that we do every Sunday at 4 and 6 o'clock p.m. Central. And we'd like to thank our partners of Marcus Art of Transforming Media, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for their support. Show. So I am gonna pass it over to Tim. Tim, what are we talking about today?
Hi. Well, happy Festivus, and I want to thank. To get this started, I want to thank Mark Levin, who does that every one of his shows. He thanks his producers. So that's what I'm doing here, and we're celebrating Festivus. What is Festivus? I don't really know, but we are celebrating that here in Wisconsin. It's a celebration. And if you're here, you probably wouldn't celebrate too much because it's closer to 0 degrees here than you would want. It's freezing. There's snow on the ground, and there supposedly is a early spring coming. So we're all sitting here just waiting for 70 degrees. So it gets to be 50 here, but that's only for like an hour or two. The rest of the day is like 30 degrees. Only for a couple hours a day. So, okay, so
I guess while we are waiting until Tim comes back. That
okay, I'm back. Hello?
Hi Tim.
Hi. Okay, I'm being recorded?
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's see. So let's consider this, right? You got a terrible picture of me on this that's been frozen here. Okay. Let's do that again. They're going to pay you, and there's not much negotiating room. But consider this: you stay with that employer for a decade or something, and you get a raise. Will that raise ever take you above the rate of inflation or the cost of living? Consider that. I do these podcasts every week. And I think today is your self-worth. What are you worth? Now, if you're 20 years old and you think you're worth $20 an hour, there's not much I can do to convince you otherwise, right? But if you're 20, you have all your faculties, you're set for life. You'll never be as healthy. And take it from me, you'll never be as healthy at 20 as you would be at 60. Every year, if you're 20, you don't want to hear this. Everything is great. You have all the powers of the world. ever change. You're godlike, right? But you go to an employer, what do they tell you? Yeah, when you get more experience, we'll pay you more. Or do you have any experience? But if you're 20, are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? You don't have any experience. So right out the gate, I'm 20 years old. I have no experience. But then I was hoping to get experience from you. Well, we're going to give you experience right on time. And if you don't show up, have a good attendance record, and do a good job, then you're going to have to go look for somebody else to give you experience. Because we're not going to give you experience if you don't show up. And then we may find somebody to do your job and then find you a different job, right? They may tell you that. If you're not good at something, we might have to replace you or give you a different job. So let's consider what you're worth in dollar amounts. Let's get to the brass tacks here. What are you worth? What are you worth? What's your value? We don't live in a world where we don't live in the world in this industrialized, the United States of America. Things are valued. There's really no question as to what your value is. There is a value for you. Okay, the insurance companies know it, the corporations know it, the government, what your value is worth. Okay? So you have to consider how am I being seen? What's my value? How do other people see me? I'm just making this up. Please, really. Honestly, I'm just making this up out of thin air, really. What is your value? Well, if you're 20, are you worth $20 an hour? I would say no. Don't be surprised, but in reality, what are you worth if you're not worth 20? Where is the bottom of that? Is it minimum wage? In some states, that's $7 an hour. So let's not get scared about this. If I go to a union, what am I worth? Well, maybe a couple of years, they'll pay me $20 an hour, but then they'll give me benefits, and I'll $80,000 a year, maybe 70 with overtime, 80,000 a year for a union job. Some union jobs pay more, but a lot of them, with the benefits, they give you a pension at a union. This show is not worth. My show is not about unions, but I have to mention them. They are a great option, and there's a demand for people who like to work with their hands. Now, this show is about starting your own business, but working for a union is not a terrible place to be. You get a little bit more respect. You get a pension for your retirement, which is guaranteed when you retire, guaranteed amount of money on top of Social Security. Wonderful. It's like 2 retirements, right? Okay, so what are you worth? My estimation of your worth is $400 an hour. Now, are you worth $400? If you've got all your faculties, you're willing to work hard, got average intelligence, that's what you're worth at 20 years old. So if you're not getting $400 an hour, something's wrong, right? Or I don't know. Look at yourself. Are you getting $400 an hour? Okay. All right. So let's consider that, okay? Because the time to consider that is when you're young. But when you're 60 and you have all that experience, now you're worth $400 an hour. You've got 40 years of work experience. What's the value there? Hey, you're worth $60 an hour. I say you're worth at least $400 an hour when you're 60. What are you going to get for your work? Your employer is probably going to say, you know what? We found somebody else to do your job, and we're going to have to let you go at 60 years old. And but now you well, but in real skill at the work you go every day, do they teach you the cutting edge skills? So what would not they why would I'm just doing my podcast. All right, I'm coming. So yeah, that's my show. I hope I touched on a few subjects here. I would just want you to get you to think. That's call me a professor for today. This is the Blue Collar Crypto Show. Okay, here I come.
Okay, so thank you, Jim, for that info.
Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. I didn't mean to let you off like that. I had my food delivery. So let me just finish this show. Thank you for the producers, Emily, Kurt, and Sue. And look forward to seeing you at 6 o'clock. And hopefully I'll have actual opportunities for you to look at. I will give you names and addresses, and you'll be able to find something there. Thanks, and see you then.
Thank you, Tim, for that information. And again, as Jim said, we'll be back here again at 6 o'clock PM Central. And I mean, for every Sunday, and the same time, 4 o'clock Central and 6 o'clock PM Central every Sunday. But everybody to tune in on YouTube and so on. Again, about for the Blue Collar Crypto Show. And again, thanks to Marcus, Zach, Lawrence, and Jay from the Disability Channel for their support of and playing of the show. And with Tim Trojan. And so until next time, thank you, everybody.